I've always found the idea of people who are clearly dominant on this earth and increasingly dominant to be both a major problem with respect to the maintenance of natural relationships between plants and animals and us, in the sense that these species interact with one another, we interact with them, and in many ways, the human species depends upon nature. As everyone recognizes, and in its full complexity and glory, nature provides us, among other things, and this is a very short list among many things that nature provides, with oxygen, clean water, food and fabric, huge amounts of biomedically significant substances from both plants and animals, which clearly benefit humans. Some of those products, in fact, depend upon reasonably complete and what in the English language would be called intact ecosystems. The species have to be there. And as I've said a number of times in these interviews in the last few days, nobody likes mosquitoes. We have it in the capacity, our capacity, to basically eliminate mosquitoes from many parts of the world. And eliminating mosquitoes would eliminate one of the major vectors of malaria, yellow fever, dengue fever, lots of really dreadful human diseases. On the other hand, there are large numbers of small birds and many bats, for instance, which depend upon mosquitoes. These are our choices to make. And until one finds a way of immunizing people from these diseases, I think we have to live with them. If we want to get rid of, and if we could, get rid of all mosquitoes, we would do immense harm to nature. And there are hundreds of examples of this sort of managing nature, which in fact I think we should avoid. People will suffer because of it. But how one then judges what our harmonious nature is, my belief is it should include all of nature, not just those plants and or animals we choose to live with. And I think most people would agree with this. Different cultures would like different components of nature. Some people probably revere tigers. Others are deadly afraid of them. Tigers kill people. There are clans of people around the world who revere certain large, fierce animals. Other people, again, like to hunt them. These are components of a harmonious nature. I believe everybody should be included in this. Not everybody, but every organism, including people, should be included in this term. A harmonious nature, if people can achieve that, in fact, includes all of nature, just not chosen parts of nature. So that would be the first part of my response. Harmony means getting along to some degree, and as I've said in my lectures, and I sincerely believe, in order to achieve harmony, we have to have sensible management. One has to know what roles species play, how they interact with one another, what the consequences of changing the either viability of the organisms or their density will be on their surrounding species. If we're going to have harmony, it's going to have to be a managed harmony. That's part of the problem. The other aspect of nature that's significant to me is, what was the second part of the second thing that deals with harmony? What was the second question you asked me that to talk about?
Young and the message to younger people.
Yes.
and a younger reader.
Yes, yes. The second part of the question, and something which I've always been totally enthusiastic about, I have enjoyed all my experiences in nature. From a small child, I loved chasing ants. I learned how to identify birds. I collected snakes and lizards. I found nature beautiful and interesting. And I followed that as a small child and to my old age. I've always done that. There is something special about walking through the woods, visiting a seashore, or pulling the weeds out of my own garden. That is a part of urban nature, and I enjoy it. Not only the aesthetic satisfaction of eating something I have grown, let's say a tomato, potato, carrot, parsnip, any vegetable, but observing in my garden what also, I guess might be said this way, what other insects I'm sharing my meals with. It's caterpillars, butterflies, there'll be bees pollinating the plants. These are fun to watch, and it's instructive. I've made a livelihood out of this, and it's been a totally pleasurable one. As one proceeds through the ranks in an academic sense, one begins to meet people of similar interests. I've loved being a teacher at all levels. Interacting with people of similar minds who are as enthusiastic about the natural world as I am has always been a joy. And to have played having played some role in their lives is enormously satisfying. I can't think of any better way to spend one's time on Earth than to do this sort of task, if you will, of interacting with people constructively, and then being able, as been true in my case, to spread the information, which is for the betterment of nature and I believe for the betterment of mankind. It's been a totally enjoyable experience. No,